Welcome to the Rooted in Health and Wellness podcast with your hosts, Heather Harris and Stacy Richards. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 012. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hello.
Hi.
Hopefully we will get this up on YouTube, God willing, that we can figure it all out, and hopefully we don't have to do a lot of editing or anything. And like I said, that this podcast will be up on YouTube. So if you want to actually see us as we're doing the podcast, because some people are visual people and would like to see, look for us on YouTube at Rooted in Health and Wellness. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. It all helps us out, guys. And we just really want to grow the community, and we really appreciate your support.
Yes.
I encourage, if you didn't listen to the last podcast, that was a solo podcast, so thankfully Stacy is back today. But last, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I did a solo podcast, and it was just kind of a little pep talk. I've just had a lot of my clients really struggling to stay on track, and so it just felt like a good time to kind of give a little pep talk, get people to, hopefully, again, make those goals, make them into habits, and stop making excuses and just really get started and get going. So I'm hoping that helped, and again, always appreciate any feedback on our podcast and now our YouTube channel. So, Stace, you're back.
Yes.
I missed you last week.
I know, I missed you too.
How are you doing? How's summer going?
It's going well. It's just been very busy, but I'm thinking it might slow down just a little bit, hopefully for a few weeks, and then back to school.
I know. I was just going to say, it's probably going to slow down just as it's time to get ready to go back to school. That's the way I feel like. Like, it has been super busy for us as well. The kids are actually right now, though, in Hilton Head with their grandparents.
Nice.
So I just took them to the airport yesterday, and so they're gone for a week. So it's a little weird for me to be without them. But it's weird because when they get back, they'll be back in a week, and then my oldest goes to camp. He goes away to Camp Shindo for a week with the church. And when he gets back, though, I'm like, it's going to be the middle of July. And for them, they have like one more month. Yeah. And then they go back to school. Yeah. It's so crazy to me how fast it's going.
So fast.
So when do you start back?
We're back the second week of August, so.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, like the
I was
14th.
Thinking you were later because you got off later, didn't you? Yeah. You don't go back
Yeah, but we get a really long holiday break.
Okay.
So that kind of extends our time. So they give us longer breaks because our kids take lots of vacations.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was thinking you didn't go back till September.
I wish.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's going so fast.
Yes.
So it's crazy. And I just enjoy the kids being home and off for the summer so much. Just mornings are so much easier.
Yes.
I feel like it's just a lot less hectic, not having to rush around to get them off to school, and it's much more laid back, and everybody's calmer.
So needed. Everyone's happy.
I know. So I'm not looking forward to them going back
either,
in a month.
at all.
I can't believe it, or
Not
a
at
little
all.
over a month.
I know.
So, yeah, I'm really...
Goes by so fast.
It does. So today, though, everybody, we're going to be talking about exercise. I kind of wanted to lead into the exercise because we're hoping, Stacy and I are hoping to do some little short exercise videos for the YouTube channel, so that, just because I have a lot of people that are, pretty much sedentary or not working out, and a lot of people don't know where to start, or they don't feel like they have the time. So I'm hoping if we do these short videos, 1 to 2 exercises, just to get you started, to just get up and take 5 or 10 minutes to do some of these exercises. But I think they'll also be great for people that maybe they do have an exercise routine every morning, like myself, but they can still incorporate some of these movements throughout the day. Even
very
it's important to we're really meant to move throughout the day. We're really we're not meant to be sitting all day, as we are sitting right now, but we're not meant to be sitting all the time. So we are meant to be moving. And so I think it's really important to, I think it's great to have an exercise routine. Like I said, I was just at the gym this morning, and you were just at Orange Theory. But I also think it's good to not just exercise and then also
Be done.
just sit
Right.
the rest of the
I
day.
know.
To get in movement, walking or whatever that looks like for you, throughout the
Yeah.
day. So some of these things like squats, you can just do a few squats
Yeah.
throughout the day. Just again, it's so important for our body, for our joints, for our bones, for our muscles, for everything to keep moving, to keep
Yes.
fluid.
Yes,
So
I agree.
that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, and how we, some of the benefits of exercise, and how to incorporate that in throughout your day. And so do be looking for some of those YouTube videos. Hopefully we'll get them up maybe in the next week or two,
Yeah, that'd be
on
fun.
again some basic exercises that you can start incorporating. And please, again, leave us any feedback, any comments, any questions, YouTube videos that you would like for us to do, exercises you would like for us to
body
show.
parts you want to hit, those types of things.
Yeah, exactly. Anything like that, please leave those in the comments below. So let's get started, though, in talking about exercise. Where at first I do want to ask too, how did you get started in exercise?
Well, back in the day when I was at the YMCA, I was in aquatics there, and just at 18 years old, my director, her name was Jody, she was like, hey, you need to start teaching
Jody
some fitness
Alexander,
classes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she worked with me and trained me on how to teach just regular step aerobics and those types of things, and we shortly got into spin and group cycling and got certified in that. So just at 18 years old, really got into the fitness world at the YMCA and just teaching from the time I was very young. And it was an amazing experience. I got certified. Jeff and I joke all the time because I'll be like, oh, I'm certified in that. Oh, I got certified in that. So everything that ever came about in fitness, like you and I both have been certified in it because we're at the Y. They wanted to start a class.
Right.
We had to get certified.
Right.
So just kind of went with my fitness journey in that sense, and I love teaching classes. I love the group environment. I mean, I don't mind working out on my own, but I love the energy you get from a group of people and working out with people and pushing people.
Right.
So to this day, so how many years later, that's a lot of years later, still doing group fitness, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we started off very similar. I think, and I've talked about this even in some of the first few podcasts about my story, was honestly, exercise for me and working out, I kid you not, like, I really believe saved my life.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, especially in some of the dark times that I've been through. And I started as well in college is really when I got started. And it was purely to help myself with stress and anxiety, really, is kind of how got me going. I had definitely, in college, and I think I've talked about this, I kind of put on that freshman 15, 20, and, wasn't feeling so good about myself. And at the same time, if you listen to those podcasts, I had gone through a lot of, just unhealthy relationships, letting people, treat me really poorly. And I just found my way to a YMCA. It was in Cincinnati, and right off the campus I was going to at University of Cincinnati, and started taking classes, and again, to help myself feel better. But it turned into just this amazing thing to help me cope with my own anxiety and my own stress. And I just fell in love with it. I mean,
Same.
I was taking classes, and at that time it was just like aerobic classes, floor aerobics. And then as I was taking more and more classes, I remember the instructors were like, hey, like you've got coordination, you've got the rhythm, like, do you want to start teaching? And exactly like you, it just like, it took off. It was like any time a new certification came up, I was there taking that certification. But I did a lot of group exercise classes for many, many years. But I have to say now, I am very much someone that likes the solo exercise. Like I now, for me going into the gym, and I talked about this in the last podcast, how I really actually just got started back at the gym. After COVID and things were shut down, I was working out at home, and really had always worked out at the gym.
Right.
But then, because of COVID and things being shut down, I was working out at home. And so I just started back like 3 weeks ago, back to the gym. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And again, it's just this, like I fell in love all over
Yeah.
again. Like I hadn't realized how much I had missed it.
Yeah.
And how much for me, like just being able to go to the gym, put my headphones in, listen to music that pumps me up,
Right.
and just gets me going, and just lifting weights. Like
Yes.
it is, I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
You know, I wish, you know, even through the YouTube video, like I could reach through and just, like I always want to like shake people, like just get started,
Yeah.
you know, and because it just, the stronger that I got physically, the stronger I got mentally.
Exactly. It's
And
all
that's-
connected.
That's exactly where it came down for me, and that's why I do it, because you know, when I stopped going to the gym for a while because of COVID and everything, and I also had an injury that prevented me from lifting really
Right.
heavy for a while, it was crazy because I started getting weaker,
Yeah.
and the weaker I got physically, the weaker I got
Yeah.
mentally. And it absolutely is there's a tie-in between
Yeah.
that physical and mental.
That's why they call it, when I teach health, it's called the health triangle. You have social, mental, and physical.
Right.
It's all tied together.
Exactly.
So that the triangle all connects.
Right.
And you need every aspect of it to be healthy.
Right. And that social, that's also, you
Yeah.
know, even like with obviously group classes, I think are more social. There's very
Yeah.
much that dynamic of, you know, people pumping each other
Yeah.
up, which is awesome, you know, and really supporting each other. But even in a gym setting, when you go in and work out, it's even though I go in and I necessarily don't talk to a lot of
Sure.
people, there's still that social aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get so inspired by
Right.
watching other people working out too.
Yeah.
Especially women, I mean, because we are women, but when I see women lifting weights and they're strong and they're, it just really inspires me and pushes me to
Of
want
course.
to work out even more
Right.
and harder. But for me, it is definitely a mental thing.
Yes.
It is when I don't exercise.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just mentally,
Oh.
you know,
It's so bad.
I know.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's it really affects me mentally. And you know, and I want to say too, there's definitely a line, you know, you don't want to over exercise
Right.
either. So
Right.
I want to make sure I'm not saying you have to go all out, you know, 6 or 7 days a week even,
Right.
you know, but I definitely think that doing some, you know,
Yeah.
is definitely going to be beneficial for everybody.
Right. I think for
Absolutely.
us, like, when we don't do it, like for me, there was like a time in the spring where things got crazy and I didn't get to work out like I wanted to, and I just didn't feel like myself.
Right.
And when I don't feel like myself, I'm not happy.
Right.
And so it really affected me mentally and emotionally. Was struggling with being depressed and
Right.
anxiety because I just wanted to get to the gym and worked out, you know.
Right.
So you just don't feel like you
Right.
when you're not doing it.
Right, right. I think, you know, exercise, and we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of exercise, or a lot about the benefits of exercise, because hopefully, like, this whole podcast and YouTube video is to encourage you to, you know, just start moving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our bodies, again, we're built to move. So we just want to encourage you to start doing that.
Right.
And if you feel like intimidated by going to a gym, I just want to be the first to tell you, first of all, I want to say, you know, when I started back 3 weeks ago, I definitely started to feel that. Like,
Really?
even though I hadn't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
And I definitely, even though I had most of my life been in gyms.
Right.
Having taken that break and just been working out at home, which there's nothing wrong with working out
Right.
at home. I want to say that too. So all the exercises we're going to show you will be things that you can do at home. But I think, again, there's something exciting about going to the gym.
100%.
I know that, like I said, I had taken a break, and I was fine with it. I had taken a long break from going to the gym and working out at home. But when I stepped back in that gym 3 weeks ago, just the energy.
Yep.
There's just something about it, again, the energy and just the people working out, and again, the inspiration. And I was nervous, and I think I said this on the last podcast. I was super nervous and thinking, what are people going to think of me?
Sure.
And, you know, oh my gosh. And because a lot of the same people were still there from when I had
Yeah.
been there before, and I thought, oh, they're going to think, man, she's really gotten out of shape, and all these things that go through your head. But I didn't, it definitely got in my head, but I didn't let it stop me. And
Yeah.
that's the big thing, is don't let those thoughts in your head, that mindset that we've talked a lot about, don't let that stop you.
Right.
most people in the gym, again, are doing their own thing. They're really
Right.
not paying attention,
They're worried
to
about
what
themselves,
you're doing.
right.
Yeah. And so I went in, and my mindset from the first day I went in, and until now even, is every day I'm like, I'm gonna get stronger. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get stronger. That's all. I don't care what anybody thinks,
Right.
about me and my workout outfit or whatever, but I'm just gonna get stronger, and that's just my whole goal.
Sure.
And that's where I want to inspire others that, again, just think about getting stronger. Don't think about the weight on the scale or
Right.
anything like that. Just focus on getting stronger, because I'm here to tell you that if you focus on that, your body will transform. It will be at the healthy weight that you
Yeah.
want it to be. Now, obviously, nutrition is a part of that, sleep and all that, which we're going to talk about, in length on the podcast.
Sure.
But right now, we're just talking about exercise and the importance of that. What I would encourage you to is, just first take that first step. But if you feel nervous about what to do in the gym, like I've had several clients now I'm training at the gym, because they're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what exercises to do. I don't know what to do on the machines,
Sure.
So hire a trainer.
Yeah.
Hire someone,
Yeah.
I think too, when we pay for something, we're more apt
Oh,
to
100%.
show up and to do it.
Yeah, they show studies of people who join Planet Fitness as opposed to like joining a gym like Orange Theory. Well, joining a gym that costs money, you're going to want to use it because you're spending
Right.
a lot of money.
Exactly.
When you spend $10 a month, you don't care if you go or not because it's $10.
Right.
And you spend
Right.
$10 on something
Right.
simple every day.
Yeah.
So when it actually pains you
Yeah.
to have to pay for it,
Yeah, you're
gonna do it.
Right, right.
And you're more apt to
Right.
be committed.
Now, I want to say Planet Fitness is fine.
It's awesome.
It is. I do want to say that. I actually went there for a
No,
long time. And
I love Planet Fitness.
I got in actually amazing shape when I went to Planet Fitness.
Yes.
So no shade
I
on
love Planet Fitness. I'm just saying,
And yeah, I get what
if
you're
you
saying.
pay for a trainer, you pay more, you're going to
Right.
take it a little more seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Some of you, if you're like already just dedicated,
Yeah.
you can do that,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah. But I know for some people, like, again, and including myself, I have to watch my money. So for,
Yeah.
a $10 membership, if that's where you can start, absolutely wonderful, great. Definitely go to Planet Fitness too. I just think sometimes, again, if you're going to a gym and you need some help on, getting started on what exercises to do, hiring a trainer is super,
Yeah,
super
and you don't have to do it for
helpful.
very long.
And
Just have them
exactly.
meet with you. And
Yeah. And, we're both trainers. We can help you get started,
Right.
get you kind of set up on a plan. So, it doesn't have to be us, but you can always reach out, and
Yeah.
let us know too if you need some help at the gym getting started. Because you want to make sure, one of the biggest things that concerns me when people go into gym is you want to make sure you have proper form.
yeah,
Absolutely so important.
it is.
We want to prevent, injuries. And
Right.
so you want to make sure that form is important. So having that trainer there to help you,
Yep.
with the form and reducing any risk of injury is super,
Very
super
important.
helpful. And you want to find a trainer too who has experience. Don't be afraid. And I said this on the last session, don't be afraid to ask, what their certifications are, what their experience is,
Right.
you can even ask for references, other people that they've trained, just to get some ideas. But you want to have someone, again, that's got some experience and some
Yeah.
knowledge, and that isn't, I'm going to just say this, isn't going to just beat you up,
Right.
I am guilty. I used to be that trainer when I
Yes.
remember in my 20s, just thinking like, man, I'm just gonna,
Yes.
I'm just gonna beat him up, I'm gonna kill him, that kind of thing, that idea. A lot of young trainers, and no shade to young trainers either, you got to start somewhere.
I know.
But you have that idea that like, oh, I'm just gonna go in and it's my
Right.
way or the highway. This is the way they've got to do it.
Yeah.
And so you learn as you get older and with more
Yes.
experience, like you don't want to beat the person up,
Right.
especially on the first few sessions, because they're more than likely going to be so sore and hurting, and they're not going to want to come back.
Right.
So you've got to have a trainer that's able to figure out like your imbalances in your body, what you need to strengthen, what's weak, what needs to be
Yeah.
strengthened, what needs to be stretched, what needs to be more mobile. A good overall training session should include, some strength training, but also some flexibility and mobility.
Right.
That's something a lot of, trainers don't do, but mobility is so important.
Right.
I see so many people, especially again as they get older, and they're just struggling because, you know, things are hurting and their hips are hurting, their shoulders are hurting, and a lot of times that's just because they don't have the mobility.
Right.
So
I always find most people, when they're tight and their hip flexors are tight, or their, you know, their lower back is tight, and they're wondering why their knees hurt, and it's all connected.
Right,
And I'm like,
it
if you
is.
just could stretch out a little bit, make sure you're doing your stretches, it would actually improve the pain in your knees.
Right.
But you're stretching your hips.
Right,
So-
absolutely. So exercise is the most important thing for aging, mobility, longevity, and mental health. Like we said, by age 40, I saw this statistic, we lose 1% of our muscle mass each year by age 40.
Yuck.
Yeah, yeah, don't like that. I know.
I've lost 7%.
Yeah, don't even, I've lost 14%. So I know. So, and we also become more insulin resistant. And not to mention our hormones are decreasing, our immune system goes sideways. So one of the answers to combating all these things is what? Building muscle.
Definitely.
Building muscle. Guys, I just want to be like, I just want to shout it out. Like, I used to be, again, a cardio queen.
Yeah,
Were you?
I know you were.
You remember that?
Yes,
Do
you
really?
ran
I know.
miles and miles. I'd be like, there's Heather on the treadmill again.
I would run outside,
running
and then
queen.
oh my gosh, and then I would teach all those
Oh,
aerobic classes, like
it was
step classes and
insanity.
everything.
Yes.
It was crazy. I think back, and no wonder, like, my body hurts, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
just some of the things we put ourselves
I
through,
know.
you know? Again, when you're young and you're just not thinking, and yeah, and you know, we're taught, you know, like, exercise more, eat less, exercise more, eat less. And so it's like, I was definitely for a while there on a cardio kick.
Yes,
and just,
I remember that.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of running. And what was really interesting is that during that time, like, my body really didn't change much. I was not, I really was putting on weight.
Yeah.
I really did.
I remember you struggling with that.
Yeah, and I was definitely putting on weight. And so what was really interesting is that this was then about in my 30s, I broke my foot. One of those big 45-pound weights, you know, those big 45 weight plates. I was taking it off a leg press machine. I'll never forget. I was in a hurry. I was getting ready to teach a class, and I was trying to get in the weight room and do a little bit of weights. This is when I kind of just started dabbling more into weights, and I was going in, taking those big 45-pound weight plates off. A guy had been on there and had a bunch of plates and didn't take them off. And so
annoying,
I
by
know,
the way.
I know. And so I was trying to take them off in a hurry, and I thought I had the plate.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
I do remember.
And I thought I had the plate, and I didn't, and it was coming from a high point, and it dropped and landed on my right foot.
I do.
And smashed my first two toes, my big toe and the toe next to it, and my foot fractured. So it was bad. So I was laid up in a boot for 6 months. And talk about devastating.
Yeah.
For someone who has built their world, their career too. You know, I was a fitness director too. So I had built my whole career around fitness and exercise.
Right.
And all of a sudden I could not. And especially someone who was, again, a cardio queen, who was running all the time. And now I couldn't even walk. And so here I am in a boot. And I mean, for a while I was laid up, and then I was in a boot and couldn't, you know, I could walk and stuff, but it was hard, you know, couldn't do much. But it taught me such a lesson because I couldn't do any cardio, and all I could do, and all I was given, like, the okay by doctors was to do some weight training. So I could sit in the gym and do, like, some upper body kind of things, and I was able to do, like, the leg extension and leg curl with it, you know. But that was it. But what was crazy was I got in the best shape of my life.
Wow.
Like, I really got, I lost, like, some extra weight that I had been holding on to, and I got leaner. And I really opened my eyes to the weightlifting.
That's awesome.
To strength training. So that really led me on this path. And then it was in my 40s, actually, that I really had this, you know, whole idea that I'm just going to focus on lifting weights. I'm not, I would do walking, but no, you know, no other cardio really. And again, just focused on progressively getting stronger and stronger. And when I did that, again, the amazing transformation, my body just transformed without me even, you know, really trying hard. I was just lifting heavier weights. And I think, again, women especially get so afraid of lifting heavy
so
weights.
many women will be like, I don't want to get bulky.
Yeah, we're gonna, I'm gonna get bulky. I'm gonna, we don't have the genetics.
No,
we don't
we
have
don't.
the hormones
That's what I say.
to do that.
We don't.
Yeah,
have
we
that.
just don't.
Right.
And yeah, I guess I want people and women, and we can talk more about that, but I want women to not be afraid to get in there and lift heavy. And again, it's going to look different for everybody.
Right.
It depends on your starting point. Right now, your starting point may be just doing body weight exercises,
Right.
and that may be heavy enough, you know? And that's perfectly fine. What's heavy, again, is going to be different for everybody.
Sure.
But that you're just slowly starting to build on that, and just keep working on, again, lifting heavier and heavier weights. And it will transform your body. Putting on muscle is the key to, shaping your body and to so many things, again, that we're going to talk about, so many benefits. Without adequate muscle mass, we become frail. And guys, frailty is the kiss of death.
Yep.
That's, to me, and it's hard, for people, women, men that are in their 20s right now or 30s, they're kind of like, they're not thinking about that kind of thing. Your 40s, I'm 54, that's going to be more, in the front of my mind now. But I guess I would just really encourage everybody, again, no matter what your age, the sooner you start, the better you're going to be off in your, older age, in your older years. Because, again, the more muscle mass you have, the stronger your bones are going to be, the stronger your joints are going to be, and again, the less frail you're going to be.
Yes.
And so what happens with a lot of, older people, as we know, is that what usually is their demise is that they are frail and then they fall or break a hip or something, and then, soon after they're gone, because they just didn't have the strength. Right. So there's just so much research, so much interesting research out there now on lifting weights and muscle mass being so important for, so many things, and we're going to talk about that. So let's get into exercise and the benefits of exercise. And if you are watching on YouTube, you'll probably see me kind of look down here every once in a while because I do have some notes. We don't script this and anything, but I do have some notes. I want to try to keep my mind, keep myself focused and on the right path, because it's easy for me to get off and talk on all other kind of subjects or other tangents. But let's talk about the benefits of exercise. And so one of them we know is weight management. Exercise is definitely important for weight management.
For sure.
Exercise helps to burn calories and can contribute to weight loss or weight maintenance by increasing our metabolism and reducing body fat. So a lot of times that's why people even start an exercise program is, the goal is kind of to build muscle and lose body fat. And we have here at my office the in-body scan too. So if anybody's not familiar with that, maybe we'll talk about that on one of the podcasts, but you can get your body fat tested and your muscle mass. It will test your muscle mass as well. So a great thing to do, it gives you a great test results, back. And it's a great way to start off too. So you kind of know your starting point. Yeah. And it's very motivating, again, like, okay, and then, I have some clients that come in like every month then and do it again to see their progress.
You want to see the progress, right.
To see how much more muscle mass they've put on and how much body fat they've lost.
Right.
So I encourage people, especially when you're starting off, to get something, like that, an in-body scan. Again, we can do it here at the office. If you're interested, you can always let me know. Again, another benefit of exercise is for cardiovascular health, obviously for our heart.
Yes.
So important for heart health. Regular exercise strengthens the heart and improves cardiovascular fitness, lowering the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Right. So important for that. Obviously, to increase muscle strength and endurance. So physical activity promotes the development of stronger muscles, leading to improved overall strength, endurance, and functional abilities. Like we said before, bone health. Even, lifting weights, we want to do weight-bearing exercises such as walking or weightlifting that help build and maintain our bone density, reducing the risk of osteoporosis and fractures and that frailty that we talked about. So again, another important, there's so many benefits, guys, just get started.
You better to start whenever you can. But if you're young, even, and you're like, well, I don't have to worry about that now. Better to start young and keep it going.
Exactly.
Than to have to start when you're 40s, when you're worried about getting osteoporosis or whatnot. You know?
Right. But it's never too late to start either. I want to say that. There's this woman on Instagram that I follow. Her name's Train with Joan.
Oh, I love her.
You do know her?
Oh my God, I love her so much.
She's adorable.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. And she didn't start working out, I think it was till 70.
70.
Like something around there.
Yeah. She's obese and...
Yeah. And you should see her now. You guys got to check her out on Instagram. Train with Joan. Her daughter is a trainer. Have you seen her daughter?
Yes.
She's in amazing shape too, and she's in her 50s.
Yeah.
And she still competes and is just in amazing shape. But I love Train with Joan because, again, an inspiration for me to like, man, keep going. So
she's a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, she is just like, she looks great.
Great.
Yeah.
So she started at 70, and she looks. I mean, she's how old do you think she is now?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But she's got to be mid 70s now. I think. But I mean, it's amazing at how she's transformed her body.
She lifts heavy.
In her 70s.
Lifts heavy, and she's very muscular.
And that's what she does, obviously with diet as well is going to be important, which we'll talk about. But that's been her main thing, is just lifting heavy weights.
Yep.
And she has transformed. So if you're really looking for inspiration, check out Train with Joan on Instagram, because that to me is like...
I love her.
I think you have to me, it's, social media, again, it drives me crazy and stuff, and there's a lot of comparison. But people like her, that's who I like to follow. They're very inspirational, and her daughter is very inspirational as well. So important too, when we exercise, we don't think about this a lot, but it also helps increase our flexibility and our mobility. Again, that mobility is so important.
Yes.
Stretching and exercises like yoga can improve flexibility, joint range of motion, and overall mobility, reducing, again, the risk of injuries and promoting better posture.
Yeah.
As we sit up straight here. So it also improves respiratory function. So aerobic exercises such as swimming. I was going to say, I said swimming, but running or swimming, I put them together, women. Running or swimming strengthen the respiratory system, enhancing lung capacity and efficiency.
Yeah.
Benefit, again, is reduced risk of just chronic disease. Like I said, insulin resistance, heart disease, cancers even, certain cancers, all are reduced when we are exercising, regularly. And then our mental well-being, we talked about this as well. That's, again, a huge one for me. Exercise stimulates the release of endorphins, neurotransmitters that promote feelings of happiness and reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It can improve overall mood and self-esteem. Yep. Absolutely. I think exercise is such a confidence builder to me.
You automatically just feel better. Like if I didn't work out this morning, I would feel different than since I did work out this morning. I can put something on and just, I don't know what about it, mentally it just makes you feel better. Like, I feel stronger.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but I start my day with exercise. I just can't imagine not. And now I want to say, like, exercise whenever you can fit it in.
Yeah.
Whenever works best for you, absolutely, do that. For me, though, it just starts my day off right. I don't feel myself, like you said, and I just don't feel right. Like, I am just in a better mood. I'm a better mom.
Yes.
I'm better for my clients and everything when I start the day off that way.
Same.
So that's, that's just me, but do it whenever you can. And then again, exercise helps with sleep. It actually, when you exercise, it definitely, physical activity can improve sleep quality, helping individuals fall asleep faster and enjoy deeper, more restorative sleep.
Yep.
So, which is, again, so important. Cognitive function. Exercise has been shown to enhance cognitive abilities, including memory, attention, and decision making. It may also reduce the risk of age-related cognitive decline and improve overall brain health.
Yep.
So important for that cognitive. It increases your energy levels. So, a lot of times people are like, oh, I feel so tired after exercise. And again, maybe you're doing too much or you've pushed too hard then. Because overall, you want to leave your exercise feeling good, and feeling, pumped and energized and having more energy throughout the day. Regular physical activity boosts energy levels, combats fatigue, and improves overall stamina and productivity. Social interaction, like triangle you talked about, social interaction. Participating, and this is for, again, if you're participating in group exercises or sports, can provide opportunities for social interaction and create a sense of community, fostering positive relationships and improving mental well-being.
Yeah, there's nothing better than having that camaraderie that, like, you walk into the gym and you see, like, for me, honestly, when I have to get up so early to coach, it's the people that get me there.
Yeah.
I love seeing the people and getting to work out with them and whatever.
I was the same way. I remember when I used to teach like early morning spinning classes at the Y, and I do that early morning, and I was like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, you know, but I was so happy when I did, because the people there always made it like that. They made it for me, and
even if you're just, like you said, going to Planet Fitness, you still, like, if you go at the same time every day, you get to see the same people.
Right.
You almost start to talk to them, build relationship. I mean, at the Y, I remember in the fitness center, just building so many relationships just in the gym portion of it.
Right.
So lasting relationships forever.
Exactly. I've never done CrossFit, but I've heard that that's the whole, you know, the real draw is, and I think it's awesome.
It's a family.
It is. A lot of these CrossFit boxes become like families. They become really close, and it is the social aspect. And from what I've seen, again, I've never done it, but I have been in there for some different presentations in different CrossFit boxes, and everybody is so just supportive. And I love that. I see women supporting other women and lifting them up, you know, and really pumping them up, you know, to lift heavier, to lift strong, you know, and just making each other feel so good. And I think that's so needed in our society, you know, today. And I think that's what the big draw is of CrossFit.
Right.
I don't think I could do those workouts, but I really
I would say the same thing, like in a gym like Orange Theory, or even like there's some other gyms.
Okay.
Because it's just, like I said, if you go at the same time, with the same people, we push each other in a certain way. You know what I mean? It's just, you get that little friendly competition going on, but you have relationship. I mean, people become best friends through just knowing each other at the gym. I mean, we found each other at the gym.
We met each other.
But and I would say too, with social, like, maybe it's not, you're not going to go and you're like, I don't want to go there for a social reason. Maybe it will make you feel more confident outside of the gym to be more social. Right? Because you feel more confident about yourself.
Right, exactly.
So maybe in social situations, or maybe it takes down your anxiety, so in other situations, you feel more capable of being social. So I don't know.
I think
be
that's
that way too.
Absolutely a good point. I was just thinking too, like, when I go to the gym, I may not always feel like the best, you know, walking in the gym, but man, when I walk out, my posture's better. I'm like standing tall. Like this morning I had a great leg workout. Like I was really pushing and, you know, doing lots of squats and lunges and all those kind of things. But I just felt like, I don't know, the pump. And again, you just feel strong. And I walked out of there just feeling like I can, take on the day.
Do you love, I know it's weird, but when you're lifting a certain way and then you see your muscles and you're just like,
oh yeah,
okay, this is awesome.
Now it takes time. I do want to tell people, like, it takes time. You know, I've been back 3 weeks, and I even found myself falling into that mindset that we've talked about on the podcast of, like, it's not happening as quick as it used to. You know, and what's really hard is, I'm going to tell you, you know, at 54, I have in my head that I want to get stronger and I want to look back like look like what I did in my 40s. Like, because honestly, my 40s, I was really in the best shape for me. And it's a lot harder now, though. It's going to take me a lot more work. And I have to be realistic, though. Even when I got to, you know, the shape that I was in, like I said, at 48, 49, it took me a year or two to get there. And so for me, again, I'm like thinking to myself, oh, Heather, like you talk about this to everybody else, and now like 3 weeks in, you're like, man, it's not happening like fast enough.
So, I mean, do you think too, like, because you said you lose 1% of muscle
mass each,
so then you're fighting
40.
against that.
Exactly.
So then, okay, this year, 1% more that I've got to fight against.
Right? So you have to work a little bit harder.
And just in general, the older you get, the less calories you burn. So again, you're fighting against the natural things in life.
Right.
So you've got to just, that's why it's so important to keep continuing on. Right. Try not to take too much of a break, but also, you know, push yourself to continually be better and do your best.
And just be realistic, though. You know, be realistic that it isn't, and again, we've talked about this before, but it isn't going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in a few weeks. So, you know, when we talk about when you see those muscles, it is exciting when you start to see them, but it's going to take time. It's going to take months and maybe years even. You know, it all depends on your body and what's going on, and your nutrition and your sleep and your stress. All those things factor in. So you do have to be realistic in that it isn't going to happen overnight. But I want to say, again, when you lift weights, that is going to be the best. Okay, I lost my train of thought though, because you had said something and it made me think of something, but about lifting weights. And let's just talk about like the benefits, because I do want to encourage, women, especially men and women, to get started on a strength training program. Again, it may be just your body weight at first, but it is so important to keep that up to combat, I know what it was now, I just remembered, to combat that 1% muscle mass loss after 40 every year. It is so important. And yes, you may have to work a little bit harder.
Right.
But that's okay. We can do hard things, ladies. We can do hard things. So we may have to push a little bit harder.
Right. We have a friend, Lori Reinbolt, who's in her 60s, who looks like she's in her 20s. And I'm not kidding you as far as her body goes.
Yeah.
But she's been consistent.
That's the key.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the key. It's consistency. She's been doing it for
forever,
decades.
Yeah.
And so, she has been able to maintain it. But again, start wherever you're at.
Yeah.
But just get started. Just get started because it'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing journey. I promise you. But we've talked about a lot of the benefits of just exercise, but the benefits specifically of lifting weights and doing some strength training. And some of these overlap. So again, the increased muscle strength and endurance. Strength training helps build stronger muscles by challenging them with resistance. Over time, this can lead to increased muscle strength and endurance, allowing you to perform daily activities with greater ease. And I think that's right there super important, to be able to do just functional movements every day, to be able to do your daily activities and feel, to be able to lift the groceries or lift things up, and be able to do that at ease, especially as we get older.
Yes.
That's super important, I think. The next one is just enhanced physical performance. Stronger muscles and improved muscular endurance resulting from strength training can enhance overall physical performance in various ways. Hold on, I just lost my... Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, I put these things again on an outline and I have several pages. I just won't want to lose my track. Can enhance overall physical performance in various activities such as sports, recreational pursuits, and everyday tasks. Bone health, we kind of talked about that. It reduces the risk of osteoporosis. It helps maintain bone density and reduce the risk of fractures and frailty. And then it's got those metabolic benefits, again, for weight management. Strength training increases muscle mass, which can raise your resting metabolic rate.
Yep.
And
that burn more.
Yes. So that in-body scan that I talked about earlier, I'm pointing over here for anybody on YouTube because it's right behind us, but or in front of us, I should say. But it will also tell you your basal metabolic rate. So, and that's good, to be able to see that too, because then that helps you factor in how much you should be eating in every day as well. So that is super important. It raises your resting metabolic rate. This means that even at rest, your body will burn more calories, aiding in weight management and potentially supporting weight loss efforts.
Yep.
So it improves your body composition. Strength training can help reshape your body by reducing body fat and increasing muscle mass. This leads to a more toned and defined physique. So definitely what we're going for. Enhanced joint function and reduced injury risk. Strengthening the muscles around the joints provides greater stability and support, reducing the risk of joint injuries and improving joint function. So many times, people will come and say, like, oh, my knees hurt, and I can't do squats, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And it's usually like honestly, it's when we're not moving, but that's why the joints are hurting, and you've got problems. And it's actually getting some movement in there. And again, proper form then, having someone teach you the proper form so that you don't, hurt your knees or anything further.
And strengthening the muscles around
it.
those.
Exactly. Yeah, strengthening the muscles all around that joint. It also increases bone, tendon, and ligament strength. So in addition to muscle strength, strength training can enhance the strength and integrity of your bones, tendons, and ligaments, providing better overall structural support for the body. And improves insulin sensitivity. So we kind of talked about that again before, but resistance training has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, which is beneficial for individuals with type 2 diabetes or those at risk for developing it. It betters your cardiovascular health, so we know that. While cardiovascular exercise primarily targets the cardiovascular system, incorporating strength training into your routine can still have cardiovascular benefits. It can improve blood circulation, lower blood pressure, and enhance overall heart health. I know, like this morning, when I was doing a leg workout, when you're working those bigger muscles, it takes a lot of, blood and oxygen to pump, to get the circulation. And when you're moving those bigger muscles, and I was doing like a couple exercises, like going back and forth between a couple of exercises, so not a lot of rest in between. And man, I was sweating. I was, out of breath.
Right.
And I wasn't running. I wasn't, even doing any cardiovascular necessary exercise.
Right.
But just doing strength training, it really does get your heart rate up as well.
It does.
So, and then enhanced mental well-being. So kind of, again, the same as just exercise. Strength training can help positive effects on mental health by reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety, improving self-esteem and body image, and promoting a sense of accomplishment and empowerment. Absolutely. I just think there's more research coming out about, and I'm seeing even more like psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors having people start exercising, instead of just medications, having them starting an exercise or a strength training program. For their mental health. Again, I think that is so, so important.
It is.
We have just talked a lot about all the benefits of both exercise and then strength training in particular.
Yes.
I mean, as you can see, I think we're both, I'm a little bit passionate about strength training. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word, but definitely passionate about it. Not to say that it's for everybody, though. I'm not, saying that if you have to find an exercise or a workout or a movement that's going to make you want to do it.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Is you've got to find something you want to do.
Yeah.
For some people, they want to dance, and so they want to go, dancing and doing. That's the kind of
Zumba
movement
or whatever. Yeah.
And so that's the kind of movement that they like. It may not be strength training. I'm just encouraging people to do it, and especially women, because I just know all of the benefits that we just talked about. Yeah.
Right.
But for this podcast, we're going to wrap it up for now. And the next one, though, when we come back on 013, we're going to talk a little bit more about what a good, well-rounded workout would look like and give you tips to kind of get started. So I hope to have you back, come back to the next podcast, and also, again, watch us on YouTube. And please, again, we're going to just finish by saying, let us know, again, any comments, any questions that you have, any suggestions that you have, please always let us know. And we're still learning all this. Again, this is a whole new endeavor, getting us out of our comfort zone even more. And hopefully, again, it will work and it will be up for you guys to follow along. But please help us by subscribing to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. There's a little notifications bell on YouTube that you can hit as well, so that you're notified of any new YouTube videos that we have and when they come up. And do look for some of exercise videos that will kind of go along with the podcast to hopefully help you get started. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're on the podcast or YouTube. We thank you so much. And until next time, bye.